Dr. Sean Canney.
Very much, Gaelic. Minister, just want to raise a very important issue that has arisen over the last year in Loughrea, County Galway, where we have had a community nursing home, purpose-built, with a daycare centre part of it. When COVID came, the daycare centre, Seven Springs Centre, was closed down. To date, there has been a lot of confusion as to what's happening there. So what has happened right now is that the service has been resumed 1 day a week within the Seven Springs Centre, and the other 3 days it has been shipped out to a local hotel. There's huge concern, and I was at a meeting last Monday night at where over 75 people, mainly people who use the service, came out for a meeting, and they're protesting tomorrow in Loughrea tomorrow morning on the basis that the service that has now been provided is not fit for purpose, and effectively they're being thrown out on the street.
Butler and daycare centres are fundamental to the health and well-being of our older population, and they play a key role in enabling older people to live independently in their own communities. And the reopening has been a priority for my colleague, the Minister of Mental Health and Older People, Mary Butler, since their necessary closure in 2020. And the process began in the second half of 2021 and continues into 2022. By the end of October, expected that 304 centres will have reopened, and this represents maybe about 90% and 1% of the daycare service for older people. You've come to ask about your local centre. And in Budget 2023, Minister Butler secured an additional €4.1 million to ensure the continuation of older persons and dementia day services to a high standard. St Brenda's Daycare, Loughrea, is open 1 day per week for a maximum of 14 attendees as per HICWA stipulations. And in addition to this, the Health Services Executive has an interim arrangement, as you outlined, to operate a service for 3 days a week in the Loughrea Hotel. And this arrangement commenced in September and can cater for a maximum of 24 attendees. The service is operating weekly on Mondays, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And unfortunately, the community nursing unit is not an option as a long-term location for St Brendan's daycare services, and the HSE is looking to identify an alternative site on the St Brenda's campus.
I think, Minister, that's what has been said. The first question I'll ask is, HICWA have no remit over daycare centres, and how come they have decided, or somebody has decided, that the existing Seven Springs is suitable 1 day a week? If it's suitable on Wednesday, how come it's not suitable on Tuesday, Monday or Thursday? What's the logic in this? I understand that what has happened is that there is capacity issues within the nursing home, and that the people who are using the day centre, the day service, has been moved out to facilitate that. And what we have now is administrative staff using the day centre. It's not good enough. Secondly, we have a situation where the HSE are talking about providing an alternative site within St Brendan's campus. How long will that take? When will a proper service be up and running? And there is an attitude issue here as well in relation to this. And some of the HSE replies back to Councillor Geraldine Donoghue locally, who raised the issue, was that, what they had been getting was a very enhanced service, as much to say they should get less now and be thankful to be getting it.
Thank you, Deputy. And the HSE, as you said, is looking to identify an alternative site in St Brendan's campus. But unfortunately, NU is not an option as a long-term location for St Brendan's daycare service, and in the interim, the HSE is operating a 3-day-a-week service. You've raised some interesting questions regarding the capacity issue and the fact that this has been used by admin staff. And how long will it take? I don't know how long it will take, but I will find out. But this is an issue that needs to be resolved, and maybe we'll try to get all the stakeholders around the table to try to sit down and resolve this, because it seems that it's what you're looking for is quite reasonable. And if you want to send me an email, I'll bring this to the Minister's attention.
Yeah, I do believe that there's something completely amiss in this. If HICWA have a role in day services, did they approve where the location is now? I have seen a citation from a grandson of one of the service users, and the first day she was there in the new location, she rang at 11 o'clock crying to bring her home. There is something fundamentally wrong here. And I believe myself, taking into account that this day service was built purposely as a day centre. It's not something that was amalgamated into a nursing home. It's only open about 10 years. It's a modern building. It had all the services there. It was doing exactly what you said initially about day services, what they should be doing. But what we have now is something that is not right. It actually, the attitude to all of this and the communication of it is totally wrong. And tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, you will have old people out in Loughrea marching. There's something fundamentally wrong when we have something like this happening in this day and age. And I think there's a huge loss here that has to be rectified, not by telling us what's going to happen in the future. I think it has to be resolved now. The Seven Springs Day Centre needs to open, and if there's issues within the community nursing home, they need to be dealt with separately. Thank you.
I understand that the Loughrea Centre is open 1 day a week for a maximum of 14 attendees, and it says here this is due to a HIQA stipulation. And there are 23 services in Galway. 22 of these are open, so obviously your service is the one that you need to open. And again, the HSE has assured the department that they're actively looking to identify an alternative site on the St Brendan's campus. And I hope this can be resolved, and I'll bring your views back to the Minister.